Every now and then, we hear about countries imposing countervailing duties on subsidized goods entering into their market. In this session, we will try and understand what are subsidies, how they distort international trade, and what are provisions under WTO agreement on subsidies and countervailing measures. Before getting into the nitty-gritties of agreement, let's try and understand what are subsidies and how they distort international trade. Let's start with a very basic definition of subsidies. That is, it's a kind of a financial assistance given by the government to companies or industries. Let us assume there are two countries. In country A, no subsidies are provided to industries or enterprises, and cost of production of a commodity is 100 US dollar. In country B also, there are no subsidies, and cost of production is also 100 US dollar. So at this point, both countries are on equal footing. Country A still has no subsidies with the cost of production of 100 US dollar, but in country B, government is now giving 10% subsidies for procuring raw material, due to which cost of production drops to 90 US dollar. Just from these two numbers, what do you think is going to happen next? Let's move further. Country A, no subsidies, cost of production 100 US dollar. Country B, subsidies, cost of production 90 US dollar. Country B now exports its products to country A. So now we add one more figure. The landed cost of country's B product in country A is 94 US dollar. So country B's product, once it arrives in country A, selling at a price of 95 US dollar, is still below selling price of 102 US dollar in country A. Now, who all do you think will be affected by subsidized product from country B? Is it just the producers in country A or the others as well? Let's explore. Three different categories of producers or exporters will be affected by subsidies provided by government of country B. First will be the domestic producers in country A, because they are selling at 102 US dollar in their own country, while goods imported from country B are available at 95 US dollar in their own home market. Not only this, even the producers in other country exporting to country A will be affected, as they also have to compete against the imported goods from country B, which are sold at a selling price of 95 US dollar. Lastly, producers in other countries exporting to country B will also get affected, as country B's producers are subsidized and their cost of production is only 90 US dollar. Exporters trying to sell in country B's market will face stiff competition. Now, same figures as before. Country A with no subsidies, cost of production 100 US dollar, selling price 102 US dollar. Country B with subsidies, cost of production 90 US dollar, selling price in country A of 95 US dollar. And the question out here is, what should country A do in such a scenario? And the answer is that country A can impose additional duties so that the selling price for goods originating in country B is around 102 US dollar. By doing so, government in country A can ensure level playing field for domestic producers. I hope by now you have some basic understanding of what is subsidies and a complete understanding on how subsidies distort international trade. And also, you must be thinking now that government should stop giving subsidies as they distort trade. Just hold on your thought for a while as we move further and take a different example. Let us assume that country A is providing subsidies for a drug to cure cancer, and country B is providing subsidies to generate employment opportunities in rural part of the country. Objective of subsidy provided by government in country A is to address the healthcare concerns, whereas the government in country B is giving subsidies to address employment concerns. Now, do you think these subsidies will also distort trade? With this question in mind, let's now move further to understand the provisions in agreement on subsidies and countervailing measures. Let us look at the objective of the agreement, which are, first of all, to define subsidies, secondly, to provide guidelines for countervailing measures, and lastly, to provide guidelines for dispute settlement. So let's begin by understanding the definition of subsidy. According to the agreement, a subsidy exists when there is a financial contribution in the form of grants, loans, equity infusions, loan guarantees, fiscal incentives, or the provision of purchase of goods by a government or any public body within the territory of a member, which confers a benefit. So all these three elements combine to form definition of a subsidy. This agreement also introduces the concept of specific subsidy as a subsidy available only to an enterprise or industry or group of enterprises or industries within the jurisdiction of the authority granting the subsidy. The agreement also states that only specific subsidy would be subject to the discipline set out in the agreement. So it is important to note here that the agreement is applicable only to the subsidies which are given to enterprise or industry, a group of enterprises or industries. Further, according to the agreement, subsidies are divided into two types: actionable and non actionable subsidies. Let us understand what are non actionable subsidies first. According to the agreement, non actionable subsidies includes the one which are provided to address problems or concerns in disadvantaged regions or are provided for environmental adaptation or research activities. Apart from these, any form of non specific subsidies are also non actionable. Whereas, on the other hand, actionable subsidies are the one which are enterprises, industry, or region specific. Also, the subsidy which are classified as prohibited subsidy as per this agreement are also actionable. For better understanding, enterprise specific subsidies are the ones given to a particular company or companies. Industry specific subsidies are given to a particular sector or sectors for subsidization. Regional specific subsidies are given to producers in specified part of its territory. And lastly, prohibited subsidies are those which are provided against goods exported from a country or for using domestic goods over imported goods for subsidization. So, what are prohibited subsidies? The agreement defines prohibited subsidies as ones that are given to recipients to meet certain export targets, to use domestic goods instead of imported goods. In case of prohibited subsidies, following action can be taken as per the agreement. Prohibited subsidies can be challenged in the WTO dispute settlement procedure, where they are handled under accelerated timetable. If the dispute settlement procedure confirms that the subsidies are prohibited, it must be withdrawn immediately. Otherwise, the complaining country can take countermeasures. Most importantly, if domestic producers are hurt by imports of subsidized goods, countervailing duty can be imposed. In the previous slide, we discussed about what action can be taken in case of prohibited subsidies. But what about other actionable subsidies? What action can be taken when the subsidies are being given to enterprises or industries? So, as per the agreement, in case of all kind of actionable subsidies, the complaining country has to show that the subsidy has an adverse effect on its interest, otherwise the subsidy is permitted. The agreement defines three types of damages actionable subsidy can cause. Firstly, subsidy given by government in one country can hurt a domestic industry in an importing country. These subsidized product can hurt rival exporters from other countries as well. Domestic subsidies in one country can hurt exporters trying to compete in the subsidizing country's domestic market. We can refer to our earlier example. Country A with no subsidies and cost of production 100 US dollar, country B with subsidies and cost of production 90 US dollar and a selling price in country A of 95 US dollars. In this scenario, it will be difficult for exporters from country C to compete with the companies from country B selling their product in country A. Also, companies from country C will find it difficult to compete with subsidized goods in country B. When subsidized goods from one country result in material injury to the domestic companies in importing country, then according to the agreement, the importing country can use countervailing measures on subsidized imported goods, which means that they can impose countervailing duties. First step in this direction is that there should be representation from the domestic companies, after which the investigation can be initiated by national authorities. Before imposing countervailing duties, investigation agency can ask the companies in the exporting country to provide undertakings to settle investigation, which means that if the companies in exporting country agree to sell goods at a fair price in importing country, then the investigations can be terminated. The agreement also provide guidelines on calculation of countervailing duties. A very important point to be kept in mind is that a casual link must be established between the subsidized imports and alleged injury. According to the agreement, investigation shall be concluded within 1 year after their initiation, but not later than 18 months. Also, as per the sunset clause of the agreement, countervailing duty have to be terminated within 5 years of its imposition, until and unless a review shows that the expiry of the duty would result in material injury to the domestic market. Like all other WTO agreement, under this agreement as well, there is a provision for special and differential treatment for LDC and few developing countries. Let us look at few examples to understand the special and differential treatment. Let's start with export subsidies. So according to the agreement, least developed countries and certain low income developing countries can continue with the subsidies linked to exported goods. Other developing countries are exempted for a period of 8 years, provided they phase out export subsidies within the 8-year period and do not increase the level of such subsidies. Developing countries are exempted for a period of 5 years, and LDCs are exempted for 8 years from the prohibition on subsidies that promote use of domestic over imported goods. Also, the export competitiveness threshold, which means that if a developing country reaches export competitiveness in a product, which is defined as 3.25% of the world export for 2 consecutive years, then it must phase out export subsidy for that product within 2 years or 8 years if it's a LDC. Lastly, member countries are required to notify all specific subsidies to the SCM Committee of WTO, which are extensively reviewed by the committee. All members are also required to notify their countervailing duty laws and regulations, all countervailing actions taken on a semi annual basis, and preliminary and final countervailing action at the time they are taken. Lastly, members also are required to notify which of their authorities are competent to initiate and conduct countervailing investigations. I hope after this presentation you have understood what are subsidies and how they distort international trade, and also what are provisions under agreement on subsidies and countervailing measures. Thank you for watching and keep tuned in for more such videos on WTO, other agreement of GATT, GATS, and the dispute settlement mechanism of WTO. Thank you once again.